Hello and welcome to Essentials to Heal Yourself. I'm Laura Lee Humphreys. So today we're going to have a conversation about what it takes to heal yourself of anything, really, and do so from a holistic point of view. So first, there's 3 different things that you really need to wrap your brain around to expand your thinking and perspective about what healing yourself actually is and what it involves. Okay. So the first thing that you really are going to have to wrap your brain around and expand your perception about yourself is this: to grasp the fact that you are more than just a physical body. You are way more than that. You are a complex matrix of mind, consciousness, matter, your physical body, energy, electrical and magnetic energy, and then your spirit or soul. All of that is what you've got to work with and make peace with when we're talking about holistic healing. Secondly, when we're talking about healing from a holistic viewpoint, then you need to understand that you do so within the context of learning to live and understand principles of health and natural law. So when we come from this perspective, then we really start to understand that healing yourself is really about personal growth and evolution. It's a big picture here. It's not about popping pills, taking drugs or surgeries to chop things out of your body in hopes that that's going to make things better. It's not about Band-Aids. It's not about quick fixes. It's about actually personal growth and evolution. And developing yourself, bringing your entire self back into a wholeness, an integral wholeness state of being. Okay, so that's a big perspective to really stretch your mind around. And yes, there's some conversation and education that goes with it, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here. So I encourage you to continue listening. The third aspect, the third thing that you've got to really start to look at is, when we're dealing with the holistic point of view, then there's 4 aspects of yourself that you've got to really focus on healing and transforming. And I'll explain what these are. The first aspect is obviously your physical body. Really looking at your diet, your habitual lifestyle activities, do some detox and cleansing. That's a big conversation right there. The second aspect of yourself that you've got to look at and heal is your emotional self. Do your emotional healing work, which means forgiving and releasing the baggage from your past. The anger, the hurts, the wounds, the traumas, the things you didn't do, the things that you beat yourself up for. All of those things that combined create a lot of fear and anxiety and stress. So that's a huge piece of holistic healing. The third part is dealing with your mindset, your emotional, your mental self, your beliefs. Oftentimes, when we never look at our beliefs, they're more negative and self-sabotaging than anything. And they are the very things that lead you to perspectives and attitudes and actions that create illness in your body in the first place, that sets you up for a lifestyle that engenders illness instead of one that creates health. So we've got to look at your mindset, your belief structures. So take a second and just kind of observe in the normal course of the day, what's the tone of words that you say to yourself? The energy, the tone. Is it real negative and critical and full of pessimism and defeatism? Are you very hard on yourself? You talk bad to yourself because you really don't like yourself deep down inside? Or is the tone of the words that you say to yourself, your overall mindset, one of optimism and joy and happiness and hope and excitement for the future? Okay. All of that plays a big part in whether or not you can heal. The fourth aspect of yourself is your energetic or your spiritual part of yourself. And that is really understanding the fact that you are a human energy matrix. You have an energy system. What is it? How does it function? How can you tap into it? How does it affect and intertwine in with your physical body and influence your physical health? All of that is something to learn and take into account. And then also being able to look at yourself and your healing journey from the big spiritual perspective and what the whole illness healing journey has to teach you. Why was it in your life? Why did you choose to create that? And the drive or the impetus that you tap into within your heart that keeps you going in the direction to actually do the work to heal yourself. So those are the 4 areas that healing asks you, invites you to look at. And therefore, it's not just something you can do in a day. This is a process, a lifestyle, a commitment to yourself. So that brings me to the next question for you. And that is, what does it take to do the work? You know, because it is work and it takes time. Well, I can say just right off the bat, it takes a lot of courage. Courage to say you need to make a change. Courage to say you've been wrong. Courage to say you need help and to ask for that help. The courage to learn new things and jump into the unknown, despite the fears, despite all the criticism, negative things that people around you say, because they don't want you to rock their boat of familiarity and comfort in order for you to heal. That's a big conversation. It takes a lot of persistence and commitment. And most of all, I would say it takes a lot of self-love and self-respect and putting yourself a priority in your life instead of making everyone else around you a priority. Committing to yourself to do the work. Put in the time, the energy, the effort, the money to actually heal yourself. Nobody's going to do it for you. It's just the way it is. So I liken this to, think of when you've got a car going down the road. When you just pull out your car out of the garage and get it going, it takes a lot more energy and gas and effort to overcome the inertia of not moving, okay? But once you get out on the highway, so you're going down the road at 80 miles an hour or whatever, your car has momentum. It doesn't take as much energy and gas to keep it going in that direction, okay? So let's take the same concept to your healing journey. When you've been living in a lifestyle that's taking you in the direction towards the creation of degeneration and disease, there's momentum in that direction that you have developed over time through your habits, your diet, your lifestyle, your mental and your emotional makeup. You've got momentum towards the illness. So to turn that around, that's where the work comes in. The patience, the dedication, the commitment to yourself, of valuing and respecting yourself enough to do the work, of allowing yourself to be open to learn new things and then try them out. And then as you do that, over time, you stay with it long enough, then you're going to see some effects and some results of your new actions. Your body's going to talk to you. And eventually you're going to have less pain and less anxiety and less brain fog and all the things that plague you. And so as you continue in this new direction, turning yourself around, you start to gain momentum and encouragement and excitement because now you've had some positive feedback from your efforts, okay? So gradually over time, as you gain the momentum of going in the direction into a lifestyle and into a direction that creates health, then of course you're just going to continue staying then going in that direction. It doesn't take as much energy and effort. Just like the car going down the road 80 miles an hour doesn't take as much energy and gas and effort as it does to get it to go from 0 to 30 miles an hour, okay? You've got to develop the momentum, develop the lifestyle that's going to take you in the direction of healing and vitality and health versus the one where you've been going now, okay? So then that brings me to the other question of how do you know you're going in the right direction? How are you on track? Well, there have always been guidance, signposts, principles, techniques along the way that have been like markers along the side of the road to tell you, oh, you're kind of like veering off to the side, you're about to hit a marker, you're about to go off the road, or no, here's some markers, you just stay in your lane, you just follow down going down the road because you're staying within the parameters of these signposts, of these guideposts, okay? These have always existed when it comes to health and healing and having a life of abundance and joy and prosperity. Every culture on the planet for hundreds and hundreds of years have known that these guideposts exist and they have followed them, except for our culture of the last 130 some odd years, when once the Western culture was hijacked by the pharmaceutical industry and we went off the rails towards greed and corruption and money and drugs and whatnot, then as a society, we've gone off the road and fallen into the ditch. We have ignored the existence of these guideposts. So what I'm telling you is, in order for you to heal, you've got to pull yourself out of the ditch and acknowledge that these guideposts and signs even exist, and then learn to follow them and live in harmony with them, to learn to take yourself down the road in the lifestyle I was telling you about, just in between these guideposts that keep you going in the right direction. And if you start veering off to the side, as I mentioned, then you can pull yourself off, pull yourself back so you don't go trailing off into another bunny hole of ill health, okay? So what are these guideposts? What are these signs along the markers on the side of the road that every culture on the planet has known but ours? It's principles of natural health and natural law. Following the principles of health, understanding them, learning what they are, learning to live in harmony with natural law. Now, I recognize that the idea of natural laws as pertain to your health and your wellness is something new. And even just the idea of natural law could be something new. You've never been taught about it before. Does it even exist? Of course it does. Just because you don't want to or haven't been taught about natural law, just because you don't want to acknowledge the fact that natural law and principles of health exist, does not mean that you are immune to them. Just because your ego doesn't want to believe them does not mean that your body and your state of health are subject to their effects and that they are continuing to influence your life, and they always have and they always will. It's the way your body's built. It's how your body is meant to run in harmony with the principles of health and of natural law. So when you learn to understand them and follow them and wrap your brain around the fact that they exist, then you can start tracking and looking and observing yourself and how you're living to see the effects of how the natural law and principles of health are affecting your life. And therefore, through observation and experience, then you can recognize when you're living in harmony with them and when you're starting to go off the rails into some bunny trail, okay? And then if you are, then how to get back on there. But it's important to learn to acknowledge the natural law and the principles of health exist, and then learn to start following them, because they're constants, they're immutable, they never change, they're always there, they always have been there. They have never changed. It's you and our society who's gone off into the ditch and got hijacked. And so now it's about bringing ourselves back to natural law, principles of health, sanity. All right. So that's what I've got for you today. Hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me a comment about the things that I talked about today that stood out for you, that you found of value, and share my videos around, subscribe to my channel. Also, when you look at the description of my video down below, then you will see I have some gifts for you. I would love for you to download them and grab them. They're free. Just take them. The first gift is a PDF that talks about 7 unconscious beliefs that prevent you from healing. Another gift is what it takes to really actually heal yourself. And then a third gift is 3 essential keys that are required for you to have a healthy gut and digestive tract. So I'd love for you to grab them. Just scroll down below into the description, click on the link, and you can grab them and download them from there. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll take care. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks.